perfect.
Wait. Oh, we should have clapped each other's hands.
Perfect.
Hi, friends.
That was a little more gay than we needed.
Yeah. Let's get like a yay.
You know what? You know what the best thing is?
It's not Pride Month anymore.
It's because I have this crutch. I do because one of my closest friends that helped me run the page is Pan. Let's see if I said that right. Pan. You're gay. You know the Brian's gay. Like I always have. Like,
the Brian is gay.
The Brian's gay.
The Brian is gay.
Pepe and Papi.
Papi.
And when something happens, I'm always like, hey Ashley, I'm always like, wow, that's too gay. And I hang out with gay women. Like I hang out with gay people, and that's really gay. Like that's too far gay. And everyone's like, oh, how dare you? I'm like, no. I
have a pass. I know
like
somebody.
Let me take out my little wannabe gay card.
Oh my god, imagine if we start hitting out cards. You can say these words.
Brian and I get on a roll of like people, and he's like, oh yeah, that is. And like, he'll just start really, like, you know, we'll get going, and I'll be like, and so when I see something out and I'll say it, I'll be like, oh, how can you say that? I'm like, no, I gotta pass. And they're young too, so it's not old. So before you go, that pass doesn't work.
Expires.
Because you're like, oh, you're 90s gay sense of humor. And like, no.
Because that new shit.
2010 smell.
Let me go in my file cabinet.
My Rolodex. Here it is. I have my 90s and I have my 2010. Did you guys, you graduated around 2010, did you?
17.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought it was...
So close to 10,
close.
Though.
Well,
it's in the 20.
It's in those decades. Go ahead, the 90s. I didn't tell you exactly where it was.
Yikes, people.
So, how was your 4th?
Well, okay. I spent the end of it traveling home, so that wasn't that great.
How was going up, though?
It's always good going up, you know?
No, it's always good coming.
Going up was just like driving, you know, 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours in a car. Now it's the whole crew there, right? It's Alan.
Yeah, so Kelsey's aunt and I drove up separately, and we wanted to get there so that way we'd have all the time that we could, because we had to come back on Tuesday. And Karen and Alan took their sweet time coming up, as they usually do, and then she didn't. Oh my god! Did she actually? Oh, she's gone.
Oh my god! You're here now. Bye.
I see that. Your mom's here. Hydrojet.
I got a great story. That's why she's on.
Okay. Well, you're gonna say your story.
Oh no! I'm waiting.
Karen and Alan did get up there until like 4:00, and then Tom and Jessica were already in New Hampshire at his parents' house, but they were still like 2 hours away ish, just roughly. Yeah. So they traveled later that day during Thomas's nap and met us there. And it was fine. We kind of just putzed around. We went shopping the first day, like when we first got there. That way the kids didn't have to go. And then Tuesday we did Storyland, it was fine. And then we only did like a half day there because Thomas needed a nap. And
I need a nap after that.
Yeah.
That's actually, when you go to those things, by the time I get home, like when we used to go to Edaville when Thomas Day, and I swear by the time we get home, it felt like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd just be like, and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're like, I need to sleep for the next, because like just, it's so much excitement, and it's just go, and you're like, literally grabbing your kid for the next ride. You know, I want to go here, and you're just like,
yeah. Well, and so like the drive up there is like, that's a full day. That feels like a day. It's
that's stressful. I don't care what, driving on the road is stressful.
And then you get there, you have the day there,
right?
And then driving home. So like for our Tuesday, like we had Storyland in the morning, and then we went and they had like it was the 4th of July, so they had like events going on at the park. So, like, we did that. So that felt like another day. Yeah. And then we traveled home. That felt like another day. And we didn't go home until friggin' like
you didn't get in traffic though from 4th of July, did you?
You know what I'm saying, just a little bit because they were getting ready for fireworks, and we went through a town that like the GPS told us to go a different way, but Kelsey wanted to go through Meredith because we always go that way, and it's just a very pretty town.
Right. So I get it.
We went that way, and there was fireworks here, and then there was fireworks here, and then there was fireworks over there. So it was just like
stop, go, yeah. But it wasn't that bad.
It was beautiful. We saw fireworks the whole way home.
Well, that's actually cool. Yeah. That is really cool.
Yeah.
When you're like,
all right. I'm not a firework girl. I mostly read on the way home, but then like it got to that point where like I was reading and I wasn't comprehending, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Chalk
you're just
it.
kind of zoning out. I hate that.
So then like we still had like an hour left.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do for this hour?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it.
But then we came home and
Wednesday
I went to the beach.
You're doing that half asleep.
Today. Yeah.
You're doing that half asleep.
Well, I can't sleep in the car.
Yeah, but you feel like it though.
Yeah.
Like you're just kind of like you're done. Mm-hmm. You're done.
Yeah. But Tuesday I went to the beach. I mean Wednesday I went to the beach. Today I went to the beach.
So you're living the hard life.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to the beach. Who the fuck keeps me up?
Yeah, it's this phone. Stupid phone.
Quit
Keep
messaging.
bothering me. Keep bothering me.
Can't you see we're busy?
I know.
That's Deb commenting on it. Podcast
right,
1932.
So your parents and quite a few of their friends, or my friend, our friends, they're your friends too.
Yeah.
All went on a cruise, correct?
Yeah.
So the day before they stayed in a bed and breakfast?
Airbnb.
Right. So
because it was in New Jersey.
Okay.
So they didn't want to travel.
Right, which is fine.
Yeah.
Right? But Debbie ended up contacting us like an hour before saying she wants to call in, and we had to explain you can't call in.
Yeah.
So then she's go, I'll write to you guys, and we're like, fine. And then I got a notification at the end of of our lives. Like I went home, I got the notification. She had wrote on like, this is 105 or a 4.
This one right now is 104.
104.
Last week was 103.
103. So instead of writing on the 103rd podcast, she wrote on 63. So we weren't even there for that.
No.
So I was
we're not. You should have commented after.
I took a picture of it because you were like, I was like, she wrote on the live. You're like, oh, she did? Yeah, 63. Yeah. You're like, what? But she's been drinking. But she was drinking.
Yeah,
she's
not a big drinker.
Oh, good time.
Oh yeah.
So let me tell you about my 4th of July.
Yes, I can't wait.
Okay, so all right. As we know, it downpours in the morning.
I was not here.
Yeah, but it downpours down here. Okay. Like rains pretty bad.
Okay.
So we were supposed to go next door with my parents to have ribs, and all yummy cookout food. So my dad says, I hear it's supposed to thunder and lightning today. We're not going to go. We're going to go out to eat, which is very odd for us to go out to eat. Mm-hmm. But we want to do a 4th of July thing together. So we're kind of like, oh, okay, that's great. So he said, make sure you're ready, 11:30, or 12 o'clock. We'll just say 12 o'clock because I don't remember the exact time, 12 o'clock. So, and,
You know where you're going?
Yeah, we're going to Applebee's.
I have a funny story about that.
It was 5 hours. We were in a 5-hour difference. So that's why
in the middle town, right?
I didn't message you, yeah. Because I know it's right down the street from Chile, so I just figured you didn't know where it was.
No, couldn't tell you.
So
Australia, maybe?
Maybe. No, next to Africa. So we decided. My parents are the type that they say 12. I swear it's 11:50. They're in the car. They're sitting in the car. Mm-hmm. They're always like, and they pull up, or they sit in the. If they're in the back seat waiting for us to drive, they're in the back seat waiting. So Shannon and I were done dressing.
Oh, so do you drive them in the car?
Sometimes, yeah. But sometimes my dad drives.
Okay.
We take our.
I was just
turn.
wondering.
I think it comes down to who knows where they're going. Sometimes, because sometimes if it's like someplace I'm like, I can do this with my eyes closed, I'll drive. Mm-hmm.
So Applebee's was kind of like...
It was a 5 hours, so my dad had to. I was going to get tired. It was a long drive. 5 hour difference.
Speaking of passports. Did you bring the lunch to go to lunch?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So
just wondering.
We leave.
Although you don't have to cross any bridges, so
no bridges, thank God. So we go, we go, and I see the car's running because the AC's on. It's hot.
Did you catch it?
I did. One hand.
Nice.
And so Shane and I get in the car, and there's no, obviously we get in the back seat. Nobody's in it. We just did the nice and cool because it's been so humid here. It's like breathing pure water. It's just like water. It's like pure water. So all of a sudden, I see my dad come out, and he opens the door, and he looks straight at me. I'm in the back seat. He looks straight at me. And of all fairness, we have a Subaru that has dark windows, but I'm not. Like, I don't think they're that dark. Like, I think they're dark, but I don't think they're that dark. So I look at him. He looks at something. I look at him, put my head back down, and my mom walks out, and she's, I don't know. It's so funny watching people. They ever, like, check your own car? Like, you ever, when you walk out your car, you ever notice, like, you looking at your own car and going, look at my car. Like, you're seeing if there's any scratches or something. Because that's what we all do. But it's weird to see someone else do it. You're like, what are they looking at? Well, like, I guess I do that too, right? So she's looking. Yeah. So my mom gets in the car, my dad gets in the car, and they sit down. And my mom starts talking about her cat. And
she owns a cat.
Well, we have one stray cat that comes along. That's my phone.
You didn't turn your sound off.
Yeah, well, I didn't. No one ever bothers me doing these things. Nailed it. It sounds just like it.
You record me in that.
That should be my wake up in the morning. Boop, 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 boop.
You never wake up.
I'd be like, she adopted a cat who looked like he got hit by a car. We call him Limpy, and
Jesus Christ!
Well, nail that,
He's been nailed.
So she's in the car not complaining, but like, he didn't come, and I usually feed him around this time. And my dad says, well, Georgette, he's got to eat around your time, not his time. Really? What's happening here?
I don't know.
Really?
Does any more attention?
I love how it's making noise, but yet nothing's coming up. So
sounds about right.
Story of my love life. So she's sitting there, and they're talking about the cat, and then all of a sudden my mom says, I didn't put much makeup on. I feel a little, the weather. I feel a little
naked.
No, like puffy. I feel a little puffy on my face. Like, do I look okay, Bob?
Yeah.
I only put a little bit of makeup on, and my dad turns and goes, right away, I'm about to pee myself, and my mom turns to look at him and screams.
Did it see you?
They're both seeing us. That's why they're screaming. But I don't know that. I thought Bob was being funny and screamed to Georgette. She was like so hideous that he screamed. I was like, oh, that's a funny joke. And Shannon's like, what happened? What's going on? I was like, oh, my dad screamed. So because, oh, you're so hideous. And my dad's like, no, I screamed because I saw Shannon. Which that became like, what? And it was like, literally perfect timing.
Nothing else open. It was literally perfect timing.
Yeah, and like, so now, and then I was like, wait a minute, did you scream because you saw me? Like, now I'm like my mom, and she's like, yeah, I didn't know you were back. Now, mind you, they're driving. So we're thinking they're driving off.
Yeah.
So when we get in the car and they're talking about the cat, they already put in drive and drive off. So in our brain, because they're talking, no, we're going to go to lunch. They're pulling up the park next to like the dumpster by my house for us to walk, so we don't have to walk as far. But we don't know that. It's like perfect timing, everything. Because they're like, why did you say something? You guys were talking. Like,
oh, so you looked at me.
From the outside, but you didn't see me. Like it was that dark, or it just wasn't enough light. And it was I don't know how to explain besides exactly what Shannon
I literally
just wrote.
can picture the whole thing. It was hilarious.
Perfect timing. Like, I couldn't do that again. Where I'm laughing, thinking, "Oh wow, that just screamed at my mom because wow, she's so hideous." You know, like ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I was yelling. I screamed because I saw Shannon." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, why would you scream because she's like what? You're calling her hideous?" Like all of a sudden, and then I'm like, "Wait a minute, Mom, are you screaming at me?" Because he's like, "I didn't know you guys were in the car. You almost gave it a heart attack. Oh my god!"
Jesus Christ!
It was the funniest thing I think I've ever experienced because it was a Seinfeld episode that was so perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That was so perfect. So as we're driving, I said to Shannon, I said, well, she goes, when she screamed, I was wondering what he was screaming. I was like, oh no, he was screaming at my mother. And she's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And she's like, wait a minute, why were? And then it became like this whole thing of like, and so we spent a whole lunch laughing at.
I'm here.
Yeah. No, this is what I did when I got in the car. Bob, I'm getting into the car. I'm in the back seat, Bob.
Don't need to wait for me. I'm in. Buckling the seatbelt. You're gonna hear a little click. Don't be alarmed. It's just the seatbelt. Are you okay? Are you okay? I know you have a heart attack.
He screamed like my dad's not a big
screamer.
He's not a big screamer, but he was like he was like ah! like totally threw him off because he landed up seeing Shannon, and of course Shannon right away goes, "Oh, why are you screaming?" And I'm laughing like, "Oh, you got Mom." Yeah. I think that's the funniest part is that you could break down that whole situation on either side, and it's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Like it's funny from our side, and it's funny from their side because if you look, it's us looking at them. They have a whole skit.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the other side, it's a whole skit. Oh it was a really oh my god. It was so we went to lunch. We had a good lunch. Good. Yeah. And of course, the whole time at lunch, 5-hour difference, beautiful sunny skies, no rain. My dad's vein on his forehead was about to pop because he was like, I took out the ribs. We chose not to do the ribs.
Did he make them yesterday?
No, I think he made. I know that he cooked them. I think he cooked them that nice.
Also learn check your back seats when you get in the car.
Yeah. Oh, they used to be a. We talked about this. He goes, "Oh, do you check?" And I said, "Yeah." When I was in my 20s, my buddy Ryan, there was a movie about like urban legends, and it used to be if you don't check your back seat, I always check my. There was like this mass murdering of like people in the back seat. So
I listen to enough podcasts.
Like true crime. I literally look at the back seat. I'm always like, or I get in the car and I'm looking like,
or I can see into my car, so I always look.
Yeah, there
was one time where I parked in a spot, and then I was like, actually, I kind of want to park in that one, in that aisle. So I moved my car, and then I went into the store, came back, and I went to my car, and I'm unlocking the car, and I'm looking inside, and I see like all this mail in my car, and I'm like, who put mail in my car? And it's not opening, and I'm clicking it, and this is all happening, right?
Yes.
I'm like, how did they get in? Why would they put mail in my car? Who is this? Like, am I gonna die now? And then I'm clicking, I'm like, this isn't my car.
My mom has the exact same story with our maroon Honda.
Yeah.
Someone parked exactly right next to her, and so she went to A instead of, but it was right next to her. So she's literally like, her car is behind her, and she's just trying to get in. Like, what's wrong with my key? Why is this? Like, and it's actually pretty scary. I did it. I didn't admit this, but this happened to me when Grayson had her 8th grade graduation. I had to remember how I watched her graduate, and then I came here for the podcast.
What the fuck, people?
I don't know. I'm at a point where I feel like I want to just be like, try to swipe down, see what's going on. Nope, don't do that. Oh, yeah, okay. One more time. There it is. Just swipe it off.
Can you?
Yeah, swipe it off. This way.
This way?
Yeah.
What
you gotta touch it. Yeah, there you go. Gotta be able.
Well, can we just turn the sound off?
No, we're just getting rid of all that stuff that shouldn't be there.
Boop, 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 boop.
Perfect.
Call in.
So we were literally like because I'm like that first person there. Like,
Yeah.
And so we had a big parking lot. So I was like, okay, I'm parked near the end. Well, not too at the end, but near the end. So when it's time to leave, like I'm right there. And they're like, oh, don't park too far because it's like a mile to where I'm like, okay. So I parked like kind of like in the middle.
You also have a car that everybody and their brother has.
Right. So I go,
same color wise.
I know. So I said, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm good. Right. So I get out because in my head, I'm just going to bloop, bloop, and it's going to go beep, beep, and I'm going to go to it. Like, it's going to be like Marco, beep, beep, Polo, beep, beep, right?
No, it's boop, 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 boop.
I love the fact you talk into your poop. I know it's a microphone, but it's like you're talking to your poop. Because I do that. I'm a pillow.
Do you have names for yours?
Yes.
What are they?
So it's done. Like, she crosses the stage. I get a big whoop, and now I go kind of running because it actually goes a little longer. I already told the story. Mm-hmm. But I hit the parking lot, and now there's 1 trillion cars. And I'm like, oh. And now the easy spot that I saw is now, because it's now people don't park because the lines aren't like, they're not like Portsmouth. They don't have perfect lines. So there's kind of like faded lines where I think people just assume. So people start parking in crazy places. Mm-hmm. I'm walking, I'm hitting this friggin' thing, and I'm hearing crickets. And I'm going, oh my God. You know when it went off? When I was literally walking right by it, I was like, thank you. I already saw you. Like, great that you could. And I was like, oh my God. Because I kept seeing them, going, oh, that's mine. And I'd be like, oh, no, it's not mine.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I like to be like, oh my God, there's another. I'm like, oh, no, that's not mine. I was like, oh God. And I was sweating.
And there were 32 of them, and you were the last one.
I know. I was just like, okay, I know I'm near the end. Why am I, like, because when I parked, I thought there was only going to be like 3 aisles, and they made 5 aisles. And I was just like, whoa, this is not what I expected. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want people like, how did you lose your car? To be like,
well, it's the same as this guy.
Yeah, and I remember being like, oh. But I did. I kind of did that whole stay calm, breathe. You ever do that moment when you're like, okay, calm down.
Take a breath.
You know it's here. It didn't go nowhere. You have the keys. You know you locked the door. Or do you ever get that too? I do that all the time at Walmart.
Did I lock my car?
Did I lock the car? I don't know. I think I heard a bird. And then all of a sudden you're like walking out. Like you're in the thing, and then you're like walking out, walking to your car. And then it's like immediately you're like, oh yeah, it was locked.
Yeah.
And you're like, God. But it's like that instant, like, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I do that so much lately. It drives me crazy. It's like, I have to do this. I'm acknowledging I'm hitting the button, because if I don't, I just...
You can make a checklist. Phone keys, wallet, locked car. Heard the beep. Got it.
It was. I was like, God, come on.
The other night in New Hampshire, we packed the car. Kristen and I couldn't find the car one time when we were leaving the biggie. Oh, fuck that!
That is, oh, that is. I haven't been. Well, I have been to the biggie, but it was like for the horse show, so I kind of not really did a little bit of the fair when I got a little bit older, but not really. And I remember being like, nope. The only good thing for us is that we parked. For us, we parked in the horse show area, so it was always like you knew, because there's always numbers over there. So when and you can park right against the gate. But when you're a spectator or something over there, you're in that giant thing.
We park at somebody's house.
Mrs. Peterson. I think she did that one time.
Huge parking lot, dark outside. My car is dark. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But so we loaded the car so that way we could just leave from dinner. I'm going back to my story.
Oh, yeah, no, you lowered your car? Wait a minute, what?
No,
what did you say?
Loaded?
Loaded your car.
I was like, what word did I say? I know, I like, put shit in it, but that's not the word I
Well, that would have worked. I would have not confused it. Put shit in the car.
So, and we had Alan's truck, so they just put everything in the bed of the truck.
Right. And he has a cap that go over it, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I was actually with Tom and Jessica at the farmer's market when they were doing it, so we came back and we were going to go to dinner, and I walk in the room and like, oh yeah, so we're all going to go in Alan's truck and we're going to drop them off at the end of a street, and then we're just going to go from dinner. I'm like, oh, Okay. Good to know. So Kelsey drives us to dinner, and we're going to a Mexican restaurant.
Beautiful.
So we take the back roads because the main road is atrocious.
Right.
And
it's also the day before 4th of July. Right?
It is the 4th of July.
I mean, it is 4th of July, yeah.
Yeah, so people are getting ready for fireworks.
Right.
That jazz. Oh, and there's like a whole like thing going on.
Right.
So Kelsey goes, we go into the parking lot, and Kelsey's like we're looking around, and it's like that dumpster has a thing that says for Applebee's. Like, are you sure this is not Applebee's? And she's like, no, Applebee's closed down, guys.
Right.
Like, this is the Mexican restaurant. It used to be Applebee's. And then we look ahead of us, and it's like the takeout, like numbers. Applebee's.
I just picture literally you're sitting down and someone goes, "Welcome to Applebee's," and you're like, "I like fajitas." I like it.
So we're like, "Are you sure? Like, this is not?" She's like, "Guys, like, she's getting pissed off." She's like, "Guys, it used to be Applebee's. It's not Applebee's anymore.
Just these stupid signs are left over." Which that's not uncommon.
Which it's been a while since this Mexican place has been open. Just saying. So I literally
you're 10. We still have Applebee's.
So it's Kelsey and Beth in the front, right. And then Karen, Alan in the middle, and me in the back seat. I get out. We're also crammed between two cars. Right. So I get out. I have my water bottle in my hand. Right. So I went to go give it to Alan to go put it in the truck. Right. He's about to step out, and Beth's like, "Oh, it is an Applebee's. That person has an Applebee's." She's like, "Get back in the car."
Was there a moment where Kelsey was like, "Everyone shut the F up. I don't want to hear one word. Don't even breathe, Applebee's. Like, don't even be like, I'm going to lose my shit."
Well, then we were meeting Tom and Jessica with the kids, and Jessica's going to be, or Ellen was like, "They're going to beat us there." Ooh. And they had the two kids. They didn't even leave before, like, they didn't have the kids near the car when we left. Like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to beat us. They're going to be like, "Oh, where are you?"
I got a good, you're talking about getting lost. I got another good story.
Okay, you got to wait.
Oh, no, I know, but I got a good getting lost story for you.
So like, we're like, "Oh yeah, Kels, good job."
Oh, so you're giving him?
Oh, sorry, we went to Applebee's instead, guys. I thought we said Applebee's, not the Mexican place. So literally, it was like a straight over.
So literally, she's pure red.
Yeah, she was laughing with us. Yeah, she was kind of like, all right,
I gotta take it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So it was but it was there. Just
so Applebee's was great.
The
margaritas. Actually, the Mexican food was kind of meh that time. So margarita was great.
We probably should have stayed at Applebee's.
Yeah, should
have. Speaking of getting lost, my poor dad had the worst experience of getting lost, and I'll never forget it because actually there's two experiences as I was growing up getting lost that was horrific, and the best part is he's always following the same guy. So okay. I rode at a barn, and there was another pony rider. She was very, very good pony rider. Her name was Alex Schwartz. Very good, very good. She's actually still in horses, actually. And
she's in horses?
Yeah. So her father had a horse and trailer, and so we had bought a horse and trailer, so we were supposed to follow them. Huh?
Go ahead.
We were supposed to follow them.
Yep.
So my dad has very limited driving with this horse and trailer.
Okay.
Not that he's never driven it, but it's limited.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you're trucking it around.
Yeah, no, but but he's he's practiced and but he's still not like you know what I mean, like. And Mr. Schwartz took us down to a ferry landing, so it just hit water.
What?
We just drove, and it said ferry, and they're like, "Oh, and of course, I remember being a kid. Oh, it must be like a ferry road. It's not to the ferry; it's a ferry road." And literally, we stopped
because he Tinkerbell guy.
I literally remember getting out, and it just was a road that went into the water. Like it was just like into the water. And so my poor dad had to try to back up. So it was a 1,000-point turn. One guy, it was so bad. I felt because there was no like turnaround because we're on a road that just went into the water. So it was like drive across the water or do this 100,000-point.
You couldn't drive on the water because
the pony would have brought us down.
Oh.
And then the other time, I don't even know if my parents remember this. We went to New York. The whole barn went to New York to go like to Broadway and to go see. We saw Starlight Express. We saw a bunch of plays. I believe there was a horse show involved in that too. I think we went to go see the Maclay's final, the actual finals, and he was driving. So we're following him. I'm almost positive we're following him. He takes us down a road that's closed, a bridge that's closed off. Like it has to turn around, and it's a bridge. Like it falls off.
You drove that long that you were on the bridge?
No, he took us down this like, oh, it's this way.
This isn't your tagging, love.
No, the guy doesn't know how to fucking drive. We're following him, and I remember my mom was, "What the hell is jump off a damn bridge?" It's like all these giant like warning. You ever see those movies where you see the warning and they drive past and you see another warning, and then it's like the end. They're
driving like through the signs.
And I remember my mom like, "Holy shit! He's not leaving us anymore."
Jesus Christ!
It was. I'm not joking. It was a unfinished overpass. I am not joking. I don't know if my mom even remembers it.
Why did you do
listening?
Because I mean, I know, but why?
He's just like, oh, this way. Because you gotta remember, this is before.
No, I understand that. I get it. I do.
This is even before we even printed on a piece of paper.
MapQuest?
Yeah, like even before that. Like people were just like, oh, this is a turn off. Let's go here.
I know this is my generation showing, but I genuinely don't think I could drive without a GPS. Like somewhere where I don't know, absolutely not.
I remember.
I still can't fucking get there with the GPS.
I get. Boo! Like in a field, boo. Oh, I do. I remember thinking to myself, we shouldn't follow Mr. Schwartz anymore. He still gets. It's two completely not like right next to each other, like the story tells. But I remember being like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I used to be that way, but I wasn't. I swear to God, this is exactly what happened to me. I got my license on, I believe it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I felt like something there, the beginning of the week. My parents decided, okay, you can drive. Gives me the keys to the car, to the horse trailer, and the truck and the horse trailer, and goes, if you want to go to Vermont to ride up there, there you go. And I remember being like, what? Now I was following other trailers, but I remember being like, what? And they're like, well, you've been up there a few times, like you know where you're going, because like every year we were doing it, and of course the older my dad got to a point around like 14, 15, where he'd be like, you have to pay attention.
Mm-hmm. That's so scary, but there's a million signs.
But there were, see, my mom's, I told you, there really was. What
are we talking about? I'll pay attention at 14.
At 14,
yeah.
I had to pay attention. My dad would be like, no sleeping. Like, you're going to be driving soon. And this is like, I don't say it's a man, but it's like, hey, this is going to be a job someday. Yeah. It's going to be a job. So I'd just be like, okay. And so when I remember going to Vermont, I'd be like, I remember that tree. I remember that part of the road. I was so scared. I mean, I drove the whole time like this. I had a horse trailer. Like, it's not just a car. So
you're just the trailer, no horse.
But I remember being like, and I had been practicing a lot. So it wasn't like I wasn't ready. Yeah. But you're never ready. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things that I remember being like, and my parents were like, oh, can't do it this weekend. We got stuff to do. I'm like, no, you guys always can do it. What's going on? Like,
see, I think having Kelsey drive everywhere really hurts me because I'm like, I don't know where we're going.
Right.
I can tell you how to get there by landmark, kind of. If you see this, you gone too far.
I won't lie. I guess, especially nowadays, we'll say I have heavy anxiety of driving. I just push myself through it. Like we went to Nashville, Shannon and I, and to see Ryan, and she was so gun ho of going to Nashville. I was so gun ho to see Ryan. We put like the GPS, and it was like, you know, I do. My attitude was, well, do we have extra money for gas? Yes, we do. Okay, then if I get lost, I have extra money. That's my comfort zone. Is I have enough money. Because if I get lost, I'm fine. But if I don't have money, then if I'm lost, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the side of the road with no money. Like I always just think of like, if as long as I have whatever's in my pocket, if you understand, I'm okay. So we just put it in, and I was scared. I was scared. My palms were sweaty because
Makes knees, mom spaghetti.
Yeah, like I just was like, oh no, I can't do this. I actually didn't drink any caffeine for almost 6 months. So when I did try, because it's 17 hours, like I'm not a truck driver. Like I can't. I'm that guy who falls asleep.
Yeah.
Like I'm that guy when it gets dark and it's like, and like my adrenaline wears off. Like okay, that's as much as we can give you. I get like I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I did.
I don't know how you did. How much?
17 hours.
17 hours.
Just one way. That's not even going.
I don't know how you did that because literally we go to New Hampshire, which is 3.5 hours. And I'm like, get me out of this fucking car. I'm going to scream.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest thing I did.
I think because I'm like, I have to move. Like I can't just sit there, you know?
My biggest thing for me was I have like a few ticks that kind of help me out. Like I tell Shannon we're listening to my music, so I put like my old 1980 iPod. It's not 19, but like 2003.
Yeah.
iPod. We plug it in. We buy all the different connections to make this thing work. And I'm like, okay, I got my jams. So like it mentally puts me like in that whole, like when you're driving, it's like you're just hearing good music or stuff that keeps you going.
To the song for the 14th time in a row?
No, because I have over 400 songs on there. So I'm pretty. Trust me, we drove there and back before we heard. I think just hitting Rhode Island on the way home, we heard a song we had heard before. Yeah. But I don't play it unless we were driving. So like that type of driving. So I didn't play it when we drove around town. And then I stop. I stop every half tank or 1/4 of a tank. Like I stop for gas. Be like, just fill it up. Like if there's a gas station and if it's not $1 trillion, because sometimes you drive by and be like, $4, yeah, screw you. I'm a half a tank, buddy. I'll keep going. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I'll hit you at the next state.
Sometimes it's like that. Like sometimes you're like, I'll just get past this state. And then it just
remember when the URI kids stole the wishing well to Amy's and we went to Connecticut and they sent John to get us?
Yeah. So driving down there, I will tell a story, but as we're driving down,
what was I saying?
So it was one of those situations. So we were literally like, I just get my zone, and we got into it really good. Shannon jumped out of the car. She'd run in. I would stand by the pump. She'd put like $20 or whatever, like depends where we were on gas, and then I would just pump it to full, and then she would just get the change just in case. And then she'd jump in the car and we'd be on the road again. Like that's how, like we were like NASCAR. We were like boom, 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 going. And she'd be like
switching the tires.
She's like, do you want anything to eat? I'm like, yeah, grab me a drink. And she'd get on the phone with each other, be like, grab me a Twinkie, grab me something to eat, grab me this, and then we'd be going. Even though I didn't eat all the way down at all, could not. I'd be in the bathroom like in 2 seconds. Like that would go right through me, like. No.
You smell it.
And we did it, and it took me a whole day to recover. Like, because we left at like 1:00 that morning and didn't get to his house until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And the next day, I'm like, we're not doing anything. Like, I am just sitting in his house. I'm done. Like, and thank God, it's the same thing on the way back. I needed that day because I had come back early enough that I had a day off the next day because that wiped me out. Now, my mom is talking about the very first time I went to Ironsgate. By URI, there was a wishing well, and you would
turn down this road, and my mom learns where to go by laying marks.
Same.
So it's like, oh,
that's a Rhode Island thing.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm almost by Shell. I should be turning left. Like,
sucks when they take shit away.
Literally, the night before we were supposed to have my very first lesson there, they stole the wishing well that was across from URI. That was on that road.
Okay. Yep.
Like,
how did they steal that?
They picked up the whole thing, but it still was something there. It's just we're looking for the whole frame, thing, like the little wishing well looking thing, not the just base of and so my mom's like, all right, Niles, we're getting close. That was that light, so start looking for the wishing well. Start looking for the well, and of course, I'm looking for a wishing well. So I was like, I just thought of Baby Jessica when you said
Baby Jessica?
Yeah. Oh, no, you're too young. In my day, a little girl fell down a well.
Really?
Baby Jessica, and they had to rescue her. Yeah. It was like a big, big thing back in the early 90s, I think. I don't remember. I just remember it was a big thing. They rescued her, and she actually fell down a little, and it was just a little thing. Like, she just fit in the pipe.
Damn.
Yeah, it was really scary.
Anyways,
I know that was a squirrel. But when you were saying that, I was like, that's actually like
I gotta spit that out.
I was like, that's a little fact there. But I remember she was freaked out, and of course, my mom was one of those. She didn't see it. She stayed straight on that road. We were like, we saw the canal. I was like, Mom, we're too far. We're get out again. And my mom didn't really drive.
Yeah.
My mom was a very island based driver, and my mom did a lot for me, and I do give her a lot of credit, because when I horse showed or rode horses, like it was never local. It was always like the best was always an hour
nothing's
away.
In Rhode Island, so why would it be local?
Everything was further away, so it seemed like I remember being a kid, and she was an accountant, and she would sit there, and handheld calculators weren't like they are now. Not even close. If you go further, the further back you go. And I remember her seeing that, trying to have like this big calculator, like one of the old school ones, trying to do it in the car, so I could be riding 2 or 3 horses that day, and she could be there instead of like work. And I don't even think she got to watch anything, because she always seemed to be working, and it was be like I'd come out and you'd see all these papers everywhere on the chair, and be like, all right, Mom, I got a few more minutes and I'll be done. And then you can see her start to putting stuff away, and then I come back in the car, it'd be kind of all organized again. I remember lots of times that way, just sitting in the car doing work, and so she could keep making money, if you will, so I could keep riding and doing stuff like that. And this would be in the summertime. I don't even know how she even survived in the car sometimes, because we made sure the windows were open, though.
You're like passed out. I was going to make some comments about it.
He was at Walmart, someone would have broke the window.
Probably. Oh my God.
But when I was younger, I remember printing out those things, and I remember being younger than that and just being like,
"Did you drive? Your dad drive everywhere?"
Yeah, my mom, I remember drive, but my dad was the main driver, like on the weekends to horse show, like major horse shows and stuff like that. If it was to the barn, my mom would do it, but if it was like major horse shows, and then, but I remember when I first got my license, there was no even map. There wasn't even computers, so you would get you get here, Route 95, and you want to take exit here.
People start giving me names, I'm like, stop.
Yeah, it's like, I'll
look it up.
Like, have you?
Please stop. Please stop talking to me. I don't know what you're saying to me anymore. When they say the real names for East and West Main Road, I'm like, I don't know which one that is.
114 and 138.
Yeah, I'm like,
No, I know. I'm actually pretty good on those. Like, when I was younger, I felt that was like so hard, and then I started working at horse shows, and I always had to drive, and then it just became. I think because I did it 24/7, if you will, like every day it was like, oh, we're going here, and it'd be like where. I till this day hate going to the Cape. I feel like every time I've gone to the Cape, that has been like just shoot me. That is
well, just
horrible.
to get to the freaking bridge.
That is horrible. I've been stuck on that bridge. I've been stuck on the top of that bridge.
Fuck that.
Both of them, because there's two of them. I've been stuck on
Fuck
both
that.
of those, and I've been like, yeah. I've been stuck on the Jamestown Bridge.
Oof.
I've talked about that. I've told you that. My friend and I, we were going to the barn, and he wanted to see me ride because he had never seen me. You know, that's the one thing.
You want to see you ride, all right?
No, that's you. No, but you rode. When you told your friends you rode horses, what did they think you did?
I don't know. I don't think I really.
When I told my
they weren't
friends,
interested, so they didn't.
Most of my friends thought I just went in a circle. Like I just I just rode a horse in a circle.
I don't think we really talked about it.
Right, and I said, but I jumped over fences. They're like, oh, in a circle? I'm like, I was like, what is this circle thing with you? Like they all just thought it was.
I brought up a trail ride in front of, like, so Maeve was like, said something about a pony or whatever, and I was like, oh, have you ever ridden a pony? And she was like, yeah, at a birthday party. I was like, oh, like one day when you're older, we'll go for a trail ride. And Tom was like, trail ride? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what is that? It's like when you ride a horse
on a trail.
Trail ride. Ta-da! Just invented it. Thought it'd be cool.
Just spitting some truth here.
Yeah.
So when I would tell them what I was doing, no one.
You're not even really in it.
Literally no one. That's all right. You do the beep,
whatever.
Beep, boop,
boop. Boop, 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 boop.
So, he was like, "I want."
It's gonna be a tagline. I mean, what's it called?
Tag.
Punchline.
Punchline. There you go.
Yeah. Stupid.
It is stupid. That's why it's funny.
Sorry. I'm ticking today.
So he lands up. We go over the old Jamestown Bridge, which I don't know if you know is 2 lanes. So it was a lane going this way and a lane going.
So like Bristol.
Yeah, but it was much higher.
Woof.
And then when you got to the very top, there was all great. No, there were grates. So it wasn't roads. It wasn't a road. It was a grate. So
great.
You could right, literally, like you could look out and see the water. Like
fuck that.
Right. So and when you got on, are you saying grape?
You're just making wine. My cross.
Ill feet. and so we're on top, and we're in traffic because they're building the new bridge.
Yeah.
And when you got top, it did like big sways, like big moves.
Yeah.
And he freaked out. And when he went to go to open the door, he noticed that
there's no floor.
Because
you're literally just in the air.
Because in his head he doesn't see the grate, and my mom would like we shut the door. My mom puts the automatic locks on. He is freaking out. I'm like, dude, you're not falling. Stop. Like you're like in your own head. Like we're not falling. We're just stuck here. But that's when I didn't realize when it was grates. When you drive, it just looks like metal road, like it did. And I never knew you could see all the way down until I saw it. And I was just like, oh, that's just scary, but I can't be that. Like in my head, like I can't be scared because this kid is freaking out. I mean, he is like at the door. My mom was like, you got to calm down or I'm going to go out over there and knock him out. I'm like, don't worry, you're not getting out of the car to get in the back seat. Like, no one wants to get out. And it's just doing this, and we're finally moving, and we finally get the pavement, and he kind of calmed down for a little bit. He was like, I'll never come back, never come. I'm like, that's fine, don't come back. I was like, please, I can't handle this. Like, I already sit here forever to go for a riding lesson. Like, that's the last thing I need is your drama. And he was like, you do the stupid thing anyway. And I'm like, perfect. Go away.
I don't like bridges, but it's all from like a dream that I had, like when I was a kid.
A dream.
Like
okay. No, okay.
You want to unpack it?
Let's go. Wait, what time is it?
We got time.
Okay, perfect.
And I know it would never happen, but because of it, I just like cannot get it out of my head. So we were going over the Mount Hope Bridge, which
when we say we,
my mom and
So
my
the
sisters
fam-
and I.
okay.
Yeah, but we were really little, and it's back when she had the green van.
okay, yeah, I know exactly. No, I don't remember the green van, but okay.
She had a green
Yeah,
minivan.
okay.
Oh
yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do. I think I was right at the end of it.
yeah. When they first got it, somebody spilled milk in it the first day, and it was hot.
Oh.
Yeah, nice. And there was also an orange soda incident, so that was great too. But anyways,
No, I know why you wanted to fall off the bridge. Just kidding.
So we're going over the Mount Hope Bridge, but it wasn't actually the Mount Hope Bridge.
Okay, I get
it was 4 lanes.
Okay.
So 2 this way and 2 this way. And there was no guardrails on the side.
Oh, yeah.
And we were in the right-hand lane.
Mm.
And we were going
My
really
palms
slow.
are sweating, and I know it's not even real. Like, this is all make-believe. Right. I'm like, no guardrail?
Right.
I'm at
We were going really slow on this, right? And everyone's just like whipping past us. And then they were going so fast that my mom lost control of the car and we fell over. And then I remember it didn't actually happen.
Yeah,
but I remember we all grabbed onto each other and jumped out of the van.
Yeah.
And I was the last one to grab on, and I saw the car go into the water. I looked down and I watched it, and then I woke up because I was petrified. But ever since then, I can't do that.
My thing is, I'm always
and I have to drive over a bridge at least twice a day.
I have that same thing, but not I drive over bridges thinking to myself, if this falls right now, what I'm going to do? And I'm like, I know in reality,
really nothing.
No, in reality, everything I do is the wrong thing to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm still I'm like. Okay, I'm going to calmly unbuckle. I'm going to take a deep breath and unbuckle myself because I don't want to be buckled when I hit the water. I just know that's not going to work. Now, in my head also...
You're going to survive.
No. This is also in my head. Going to hit the button, hit the water. And then there's the other me going, the piece of bridge that's falling is going to hit the car and kill you anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But there's the other piece of me is it might miss you.
But that doesn't even matter because the force of the car going down, you're not surviving.
So then I'm like, okay.
It might miss you. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! That's so funny.
I swear to God, this is my.
The funny part is, I didn't think about the bridge. I just thought about the force of that car going down. You're dead. You are dead. You're not getting out of there because of the suction.
People have lived jumping off of the Mount Hope.
Okay, but you have a car.
Yeah. Right. Then I say to myself, all right, the engine is going to go down first. So now you have a hatchback. Move your ass in the back and pop it open.
Good luck.
Well, no, they have.
This is all going to work.
It's all going to work, okay?
Right.
All right. This is because the bridge didn't land on you. The piece I found with you, because you know that piece.
Okay,
we didn't flip.
Right, you're just all together.
We're all together.
It's like you were glued to the road.
I know. And then there's the other map going. It hit you. Don't worry about it. And then I have the other half going. Oh shit! It missed you. Now what?
Okay, but if you try and open that hatchback as you're going down, that's not working.
No, it is. That would work.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it would.
The force of the water going over you.
No, but it wouldn't because it goes up because your engine goes down first. So that means the ass goes up. It's like a boat.
I understand that, but they're so
now,
low.
If you have certain type of car, if you have 4-wheel drive type of car, which like a truck, it does equally go down. When it goes equally down, that's when you got to start hitting the window. Mm-hmm. So it depends.
Do you have one of those tools in your car?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Fuck you.
Well, I got to go to the hatchback and get it. Hey, I got time. You got 10 minutes of air. You got 10 minutes of air.
Yeah, you're getting deeper and deeper in that ocean, but nice try.
Do not mess up my game plan.
Okay, are you going to swim to the top or are you just going to float?
No, I'm going to die as soon as I hit water because I can't swim. So. But I'm fucking out of that car. That is not my grave. Down the river.
The car is not your grave, but the rest of the water.
Yeah.
Got it.
I might get eaten by a humpback whale, but you know what? I am not dying. That's Subaru. I have priorities.
Oh my god. Hey, Jack. This clown here.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that are going to happen.
I can't swim.
Mind you, there's that little piece going, more bridges are falling.
No, just repeat, you're good. That's the only thing going down.
The bridges
and not the car is going down, too.
Square didn't fall. There's the other half going, good luck trying to dodge whatever you're trying to dodge.
I love how no other cars behind you are going to go down. Because they're already in motion.
They better be unhooking their seatbelt or they got hit. They might have got hit by, they got hit by my piece.
Oh.
I am so like that. I sit there and go, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. What happens if it lands on you? Or if it lands on me, I'm screwed anyway. Like, I do, like, every rational or unrational thing. But I have 3 voices. I literally have 3 voices because there's always that super logical me. Like, it, you know, a flip and, like, you know what I mean? Or, like, it's a, once you hit it, you know, like, you're going to be so much under the water, it's not going to pop you right up. You might sink when you hit the water, like, because it's going to hit, like, you're not going to have that moment of sinking like that. Like, you're going to hit and be like, okay, if I hit like that, and I'm still going to the hatchback. I'm still going to go and grab something and then, you know, try to break something or whatever. Like, you know, I think that way. Because I think kicking in an area that's flat when you're, because try kicking in your front seat. Like your window, right, compared to kicking in your back seat or in the hatchback. Like in my head, that's brilliant. Never going to happen. I'm never going to get that far. Because once I open it, I can't swim. I'll probably get the bends. I'm just hoping
that's such a good idea. I think you'll survive.
I do that.
You'll definitely get out of that car.
I drive and I go, okay, what would happen if this piece breaks right here? I'd be like, I go nose first. And I start going like.
Do you like imagine like.
Yes. Every
car
scenario.
Crashes?
Yes.
Okay.
I imagine everything. If I watch someone ride a horse and they're riding, I start.
Panicking? No,
I start thinking of like, oh, that horse just does that just right now. Is she going to be able to keep balance? Like, you know, like I am the what if person all the time. Everything in my life is a what if. Even to a point like, oh, you don't want to do that. Why? Well, what if it does this? Well, what if it doesn't? What if it does?
But this is
it's like that chance. And then what happens when someone doesn't and we're done? I told you. Like you can't not acknowledge that's a legit thing. Like, you can't acknowledge that's not a legit thing. Like, how I think of, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't throw that out. I mean, I even think of stuff like, we had a big storm in my house, like, 1 trillion years ago when Marin was little, and we put her in the living room and I took the mattress and put it in the living room, and I was like, because if this tree falls, and this tree falls, and this tree falls just right, this will land on the sun porch and maybe some of the kitchen. This will be Marin's room. Maybe, you know, if it falls just right. And it's like, nah, Jason, but we're in the living room. There's no trees. We're good here. I'm that person. So we had that big blizzard. I don't remember that big blizzard where we lost power. You're much, much younger. And I remember being like, we're just all going to sleep in there. And we lost power and we just all cuddled up in one room. This is when Mary was real little, though. She had to be about 2, 3.
I remember a last snowstorm, so I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
I don't know which one you're referring to.
Yeah, but I remember, doing, I do that. I just say, what if? It doesn't, and it's like, well, if it doesn't happen, then what did it hurt? But if it does happen, I can't fix it. Like, if it hit Marin's room and something bad happened, I can't fix it. So it's better off having Marin with me. And I've always been like that. Like, I've always been that person who...
I feel like you'd be good in an emergency situation.
I usually am. Wait, what time is it before I tell this? It's kind of a quick story. It's never a quick story, is it? Actually, this one is kind of quick because there's really almost nothing really to tell.
We died.
Fell off a bridge.
I opened it up, and actually somebody else had a mask for me, so I could just go right up. I had happened to have a scuba diving shit in my car on the same day.
I'd leave that right there.
Stupid.
That might blow up though. I just grab off. I'm Frito!
Like mouth to mouth. That was too far.
Too far.
Really?
Holding her boobs on the way up just seemed good way to die. A young lady was shipping a horse and didn't use chains, stabilizing chains, and hit a bump on the road, and the trailer popped off and crashed right in the front of my house. Like right in the front, right where
the stone is?
The stone is. Mm-hmm. The stone wall.
It's okay.
No, they weren't.
I don't want to hear the story.
No, but they do.
Change it.
No, they none of them die.
Okay.
None of them die. Okay. Actually, one lands up. She lands up like spending crazy money trying to put all these skin grafts on the horse's face. Like she lands up spending more than she'll probably be in debt for quite a while unless things went good for her. You never know. But I remember being real calm and coming out, and because I had horse stuff, like, like wraps and stuff, like I was like wrapping the horse's face to try to stop like the pressure and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's crying, screaming, like, you don't have time for that. Stop that. We got police to stop the road. We called, there was horse show people because of the Sandy Point were stopping. Like, do you need something? You need this, you need that. I'm like, I need to get these horses off. But she says that if I take the small one off, he's not too good about coming on. Like, there's all things we have to stabilize this because it's like, yeah, I know you don't know, but my front lawn goes here, stone wall, and then there's a dip. Mm-hmm. So the dip was where the nose was, so we had to kind of stabilize it. And I was just like calling out. I was totally in charge of the whole. I was like, do this, do that, and they were like, I ride horses, so I kind of get all this. I had help, so before it wasn't just me, but I kind of was like, and then I was telling the police, like, we have to like give room to let these horses out, because when the horses come out, they're gonna come out like wildfire. Like they're not after something like that, they're gonna be freaked. Yeah. And I don't know if it felt like 5 hours, but I know it wasn't. And we're trying to get horses off. We're trying to get a horse trailer ambulance, and then the horses wouldn't go on the ambulance.
Obviously, this fucking scary shit.
I won't go into like super details, but it was really one of those things where I just stopped and was like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know this. Like, if this is like the one time, like, if anything crashes into like a dog or a horse, this is it. I try to stay calm. It doesn't mean I always am, but I try to take that one moment and say, okay, we've thought about this 100 times. Because I think of everything 100 times. I think of, what would I do if someone hits the house? I think about stuff about me cutting the lawn. Like, if I fall off, I do this. Even though it shuts off, what happened if it didn't? Like, and I'll think to myself, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to run to the door. I'm going to bang this, or I'm going to do, I always just think, great example. I would never cut the lawn if the kids, when they were little, were in the, I'd just be like, nope, everyone's in the house, I'm cutting the lawn. Because stuff flies out of it. They can run next to you. You can't hear them. Like, I've always been that guy. Like, if I'm working on machines or I'm doing something, no little kids, because it just takes them touching one thing and everything comes flying down.
Jess, he was so calm and took charge.
Yeah, I really, it was one of those really things that I was just like, I felt like everyone was freaking out because they were too close to it. And since I just lived there, it just felt like this is perfect. I don't know this lady. I didn't know the horses. Not that it mattered. It just, it wasn't mine horses. Like, you just kind of go, they're just, it also was I was in my 30s, and I just felt like, holy shit, I feel like my whole life, like, what's the odds of this? Like, I spent my whole life in horses. Now I'm retired, has a family, I literally remember seeing Jay Lee holding Marin, and she's just maybe one looking at all of it. And even I was like, shut the door. Like, you don't want to see, because the horse's face was all like ripped. And I was like, you don't want to see it. And it's just I try to get that. I try to have moments where it's a breathing moment of calm because I know everyone's going to panic. I know everyone's going to freak out. I also try to think of stuff. So I will say most of the time, if I don't know what I'm doing, I still don't try to freak out, but I try to give it to like you know what you're doing. Like you know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. Like you know how to do this. So sometimes I'll give up power very easily if I don't know because I'm not one to be macho and try to look. So I try to stay very calm and try to make logical decisions at the time. But sometimes you'll look back and be like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that." But there's no way you would know that at that moment. That's what I try to do. So there are times that I try to stay very, very, very calm. So I try to think of 1,000 different things. So when it is me, I can just go, okay, this just happened.
Did you predict that? Did you know what's going to happen?
Most of the time, I remember one time was really bad. I got attacked by a Weimer downstairs, and I was supposed to do his nails. And I mean, when I say attack, like my hand was all black and blue because he did the 1, 2. Like he just went at it and went as fast as he could, and my hand is like full of blood. Like I'm all messed
Oh my
up.
God.
And I put my hand down, and a girl that was working with us comes over and says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I'm just like, I'm in my head like, okay, I don't need to freak her out because this is nothing. Like this happened, and it's all because I went to grab a lead so this dog wouldn't do something. But I put my hand, and he moved his head just right to give him the area to get me. And I remember just being like, "It's fine." And I remember calling him down, my dad at the time, and saying,
"Your dad at the time?"
Well, no, because he was the boss. He was the boss at the time, and I just looked at him like, "We can't do this, dog." And he's like, "Why not?" And then I like literally took my hand, and it's like pure, like it looked like a massacre. No, I just put it in cold water and wrapped it up like I always did. I don't know. I was that guy who just it's just part
I
of
didn't
the
know
job.
if it was like deep enough that you'd have
Oh
to
yeah,
get, like, stitches.
I did. Oh yeah, I have one bite here from a golden so bad that I remember seeing blood, and it was during the busiest day. I just put paper towels, and then I took a piece of a cloth from a towel, and then took duct tape and just wrapped it around, and I still can't feel a little bit out of this feeling. It looks like I should have stitches there. I just kind of push forward. It's kind of old school for me. I grew up in a barn, and I remember if it's the biggest comment was, "Oh, where's it hurt? Ah, my finger. I messed up a long way from the heart. You can keep going." I mean, that's the way I was brought. Like not from my dad. I was brought up like that around the men around me at horse shows and stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do? Like that was their big thing. Okay, so you hurt yourself. What are you going to do? You're on a barn. You're on a farm all by yourself, or one other person. What are you going to do? Are you going to like? Are you done? Are you never going to work again? Are you like? Not like, oh, it's just a finger, just wrap it up. Like I had a big cut on it, but just wrap it up. You know it's going to heal. Just got to take care of it. And that was the trick. You had to take care of it. Like you just kind of like, and I would unwrap it and let the air get to it and try to, keep it clean. And you just kind of keep pushing forward. And you just, I don't think many people like that anymore. I know most people.
I don't do well with blood, so I would just panic and pass out.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I don't have as many. I don't really have that because there was I don't know. I feel like we had a few of the really cuckoo ones, and then Bob was like, "That's it." Like there would be certain signs that you would just say, "No, it's not worth it," and then things still happen. I mean, they're still animals, so I mean that's the thing. I think people don't. I can't watch any video with a baby and a dog, and I watched this video and I literally palm sweating, stomach sick. I got sick because the dog kept being like this with the baby, and the baby would go like this, and then he go rah, and like that, like and they're all laughing, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Like I don't feel comfortable with that. Like it never did anything, but I still would. I'd be like, nah, you don't need to be on the floor, and him like, like I don't say it growling aggressively, but just enough to make you go, "You're a baby." It's 2 seconds. Boom, done. It's 2 seconds. Just same thing with a horse. It's 2 seconds. It just happens, and you just like people just, I love dogs. I love horses, but there's still horses and like this. I've seen people still get kicked by the horse that loves them. I've seen I talk about the pony biting me. Like just because doesn't mean they won't, and you always have to remember that.
Yep.
So I am that guy who thinks everything through. It's good and bad because sometimes Shannon says I overthink things.
No, he's prepared. You're prepared for everything.
Sometimes it stifles me because I have so many pros and cons that I end up equaling out and being like, I don't know what to do because there's 10 good, there's 10 bad. What do I do? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So when you're going for the bridge, just think if the piece doesn't get you.
I'm hoping for the piece to hit me. That's thinking.
I mean, you know what? You're not the first person to be like, so what do you do when you get out? I drowned. Like, what? You just did all that? I'm like, yeah, I can't swim for shit.
Why do you want to get out? Me, it's all just like, stay in there.
I don't know. The suffocating part sounds scarier than just drowning. Because I might have a chance with the current. I might have a chance with the current that might bring me up. So here I go overthinking. There's a massive current.
Time to go.
All right, it is time to go. I hope you guys enjoyed our story. We're doing a lot of stories lately.
Yeah, we are.
A lot of personal stuff.
Well, I mean, we also like, what are we doing this week? I got a story I can
No,
tell.
the one going out to dinner was really good though.
Okay.
Yeah, Ashley's bye. She's like bye. I'm like, thank God. Bye, Ashley. Bye, Georgette. Thanks
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, Georgette.
All 6 times you watch this week.
Tuesdays on YouTube and Thursdays on Facebook. Bye, guys.
Bye.